Story 1. It feels like it happened only yesterday, etched vividly in my mind. My life, though fairly normal, was mundane and dull. Returning home from work around 10:30 p.m. was a routine, and most nights my wife was already fast asleep. Sally's became the sole opportunity for us to spend quality time together, as it was my only day off. After work, my usual routine involved grabbing a bite to eat and settling down in front of the TV. If not that, I would find solace in my computer, playing games or aimlessly browsing the web. On that fateful night, I was engrossed in a game with my friend Daniel when, for reasons unknown, we delved into a conversation about the dark web. I had heard of the deep web in passing, but my knowledge about it was scarce. However, the allure of the unknown drew me in as Daniel regaled me with tales and information. Intrigued, I requested instructions on accessing this mysterious realm, and he informed me that I needed to download the Tor browser. After we finished our gaming session, I delved into extensive online research about the dark web. I even turned to YouTube tutorials to aid my understanding. While I was still absorbed in my exploration, my wife unexpectedly woke up to use the bathroom. She asked if I was coming to bed, and though I promised to join her shortly, I sensed her desire for my presence. Taking that as a subtle hint, I promptly abandoned the computer, vowing to continue my quest the next day. And so I did. As soon as I returned home from work the following day, I rushed to my computer. With my wife fast asleep, I had uninterrupted time to satisfy my curiosity. Navigating the dark web was a daunting endeavor. Armed with cautionary advice from Daniel, I remained vigilant, knowing not to trust anyone and to avoid suspicious links. I spent a considerable amount of time exploring, stumbling upon unsettling sights. However, I'll spare you the exhaustive details of my encounter since you're likely aware of the sinister content that permeates the dark web. One particular website caught my attention, a marketplace offering a variety of illegal weapons. With a hint of trepidation, I clicked what I presumed would reveal a list of additional weaponry. To my surprise, it transported me to an entirely new website, opening a new tab on my computer. Suddenly, a hostile message appeared out of the blue, emanating aggression and hostility. The unknown messenger threatened to locate me, asserting that I must engage in conversation. We exchanged a series of messages, and I refused to tolerate their audacious behavior. Presuming them to be an internet tough guy, I dismissed their threats, emphasizing that their attempts at humor were far from amusing. In response, they shockingly sent me a message containing my real name and address. At that moment, fear engulfed me, sending chills down my spine. It was as if my worst nightmares were manifesting before my eyes. The faceless adversary warned that any attempts to log off or exit the chat would result in severe consequences for my family. They claimed to possess the means to hack my computer and plant abhorrent images of children unless I complied with their demands. A staggering $2,000 worth of Bitcoin. Despite my vehement reluctance, I felt trapped, cornered with limited options. Paying them seemed like the only way to ensure our safety, albeit temporarily. But deep down, I couldn't bring myself to trust this individual. What guarantee did I have that they would truly leave us alone even if I acquiesced to their demands? Desperate for a way out, I decided to unplug my computer, an impulsive act that severed its connection with the menacing abyss. As I powered it back on, a wave of relief washed over me. However, as soon as I reached the main screen, a barrage of pop-up images flooded my computer display. No matter how frantically I tried to close them, more would materialize before I could keep up. The contents of these grotesque images were beyond comprehension, inducing a gut-wrenching nausea that caused me to vomit uncontrollably. Panic gripped me, and I spiraled into a full-blown anxiety attack. Amidst the chaos, a chat request notification suddenly resounded, jolting me from my distress. It was none other than the person I had been conversing with earlier, their malicious intent palpable in every word. They reiterated their demand for the money, warning of dire consequences if I failed to comply. I grappled with the decision, torn between submitting to their demands and risking further torment. In the end, I couldn't bring myself to pay, even if it meant prolonging the ordeal. Once again, I yanked the power cord from the wall, severing any connection to the dark web and its tormentors. Never again did I log back into that accursed computer. The events that transpired that night remain etched in my memory, haunting me to this day. Almost a decade has passed, and yet the horror lingers like a scar on my soul. I reported the situation to the police, desperate for some semblance of justice. However, their efforts proved futile. They confiscated my computer, promising to investigate the matter further. But the days turned into weeks, and the weeks into months, without any resolution. The authorities failed to retrieve my seized computer, leaving me empty-handed and devoid of closure. Unable to escape the constant reminder of that terrifying episode, my family and I eventually moved from the house where it all unfolded. 2 years elapsed in that dwelling, and while no harm befell us, inexplicable incidents tainted our nights. We would often hear persistent knocks on our door or the eerie tapping on our bedroom window during the late hours. Yet, when we investigated, no one was ever there. It remains an enigma whether these occurrences were linked to the deranged individual who tormented me on the dark web or merely mischievous pranks by local kids. To this day, the truth eludes me. I still bear the weight of the unknown, haunted by the possibility that someone, somewhere, is lurking in the shadows, their sinister intentions concealed. The tale of my encounter with the dark web serves as a chilling reminder of the dangers that lie beneath the surface of the digital realm. So, as I reflect upon this harrowing chapter of my life, I find solace in the fact that my family remains safe, shielded from the malevolence that once threatened to engulf us. Yet, deep down, an indescribable unease lingers, forever reminding me that some secrets are better left undisturbed and that the web of darkness holds untold horrors for those who dare to explore its depths. Story 2. There was a time when my curiosity led me down a treacherous path, into the depths of the dark web. It became a habit, an addictive thrill to explore the hidden corners of the internet that most dared not venture. One fateful night, while aimlessly browsing the dark web out of sheer boredom, I stumbled upon a chat room. It was there that I encountered a fellow user named Andrew. And little did I know, this chance encounter would forever alter the course of my life. Andrew and I struck up a conversation that night, exchanging banter, funny videos, and memes. Over time, our interactions grew deeper, evolving into a genuine friendship. We chatted daily, discussing various topics, sharing our thoughts, hopes, and dreams. Despite the dark web's ominous reputation, Andrew became a trusted confidant, an online companion whom I genuinely cherished. On an ordinary evening, while engrossed in conversation with Andrew and a few other friends I had made on the dark web, he sent me a link. Without a second thought, I clicked on it, anticipating another lighthearted meme or video. But what unfolded before my eyes was something incomprehensibly sinister and disturbing, an experience that would forever haunt my psyche. The link transported me to a live video feed. Before me, a horrifying scene unfolded. An abducted woman, bound and naked, at the mercy of a masked man. A sense of dread overcame me as I realized the true nature of the situation. Shockingly, I discovered that there were more than 200 others watching this gruesome spectacle. The man in the mask, reveling in sadistic power, asked the viewers to vote on the woman's method of execution: burning, scalding in boiling water, dismemberment, or a gunshot. The majority decided on boiling her to death. I was paralyzed, my heart racing, as I fumbled to record the evidence on my phone while desperately trying to avert my gaze from the screen. Panic consumed me, overwhelming my senses like a tidal wave of horror. I could not tear my eyes away completely. Even as the ghastly act unfolded before me, it was as if some morbid curiosity held me captive, despite the immense mental anguish it caused. Eventually, the unspeakable cruelty became unbearable. I closed the dark web browser in a frenzy, shutting down my computer entirely. I even unplugged it from the wall, hoping to sever any lingering connection to that hellish realm. Overwhelmed by the magnitude of what I had witnessed, I immediately reached out to my best friend, confiding in him about the nightmarish ordeal. His advice startled me. He urged me not to involve the authorities. My friend cautioned that going to the police might bring unforeseen consequences, despite my role as a mere witness. Fearful of potential repercussions, I hesitated. Doubts gnawed at my mind. Was Andrew somehow involved? Was this a twisted ploy orchestrated by him? Or had he fallen victim to a malicious hacker? The truth remains elusive, forever shrouded in uncertainty. Resolute in my decision to distance myself from the dark web, I abandoned its forbidden depths, vowing never to return. The experience had forever changed me, leaving deep scars on my psyche. It served as a chilling reminder that the internet, particularly the dark web, is a realm teeming with anonymity, deception, and unimaginable horrors. In hindsight, I question whether involving the authorities would have made a difference. The dark web thrives on secrecy, making it nearly impossible to trace those responsible for such heinous acts. My faith in justice wavered, and ultimately, self-preservation won over the pursuit of closure. Years have passed since that dreadful night, and I remain vigilant. Haunted by the memories of what transpired, I resolved to lead a cautious existence, forever aware of the dangers lurking in the shadows of cyberspace. I immersed myself in research, delving into the realm of cybersecurity and the dark web's nefarious activities. It became a personal mission to educate others about the perils that lie beneath the surface, a quest to prevent others from falling victim to the same horrors I had witnessed. Despite my efforts to move on, the echoes of that chilling encounter reverberated through my life. The specter of Andrew's involvement haunted my thoughts. I often questioned whether he was an innocent friend ensnared in a web of malevolence or a malevolent puppeteer manipulating unsuspecting souls for his sadistic pleasure. Seeking closure, I embarked on a quest for answers. I reached out to others who had encountered Andrew in the depths of the dark web, hoping to uncover any semblance of truth. The accounts varied. Some spoke of Andrew as a kind and genuine friend, while others hinted at a darker side, a hidden propensity for malevolence. It seemed that even those who claimed to know him best were plagued by uncertainty. My pursuit of justice led me down a convoluted path of clandestine meetings and encrypted conversations. I formed connections with individuals who shared my goal of exposing the dark underbelly of the internet. Together, we unraveled layers of deception, piecing together fragments of a puzzle that seemed designed to confound. As the veil of secrecy began to lift, a sinister truth emerged. Andrew, it appeared, was not the person I had believed him to be. He was part of a nefarious network that reveled in the darkest recesses of human depravity. They thrived on the suffering of others, exploiting the anonymity of the dark web to propagate their malevolence. The link he had sent me was a calculated trap, a method to ensnare unsuspecting souls in their twisted game of torture and death. Armed with this newfound knowledge, I resolved to expose Andrew and his cohorts to the world. But as I delved deeper into their machinations, I realized the extent of their power and influence. They were elusive, their digital footprints erased, leaving behind nothing but whispers and fragmented traces. It became apparent that unmasking them would be an arduous, dangerous endeavor. Undeterred, I sought allies among those who had suffered at their hands. Together, we formed a tight-knit community dedicated to combating the darkness that consumed the dark web. Our collective knowledge, skills, and determination became our armor against the malevolence that threatened to consume us. Through our efforts, we managed to dismantle pockets of their operations, rescuing victims and exposing their crimes to the authorities. It was a small victory in a seemingly endless battle, but it gave us hope. We understood that the dark web would always be a cesspool of wickedness, but by shining a light on its darkest corners, we could at least make a difference. The scars from that night would forever remain etched upon my soul, a constant reminder of the evil that exists in the world. However, I chose to channel my trauma into a force for good, dedicating my life to raising awareness, advocating for stricter cybersecurity measures, and supporting survivors who had fallen prey to the dark web's malevolence. Though I may never have complete closure or definitive answers about Andrew's true nature, I discovered solace in knowing that I had prevented others from suffering the same fate. The dark web may forever be a sinister abyss, but armed with knowledge, vigilance, and the collective determination to protect one another, we can stand against its horrors and strive for a brighter, safer digital landscape. In the aftermath of my encounters with the dark web, my life took on a new purpose. I became an advocate for cybersecurity, traveling to conferences and speaking engagements, sharing my harrowing experiences and warning others about the dangers that lurked online. My story resonated with many, and I received messages from people around the world who had been inspired to be more cautious in their online activities. Driven by a sense of responsibility, I dedicated countless hours to researching the dark web's ever-evolving tactics and emerging threats. I collaborated with cybersecurity experts and law enforcement agencies to develop strategies for tracking down and dismantling illicit operations. Together, we worked tirelessly to disrupt the networks that propagated violence, exploitation, and illegal activities. As time went on, our efforts yielded results. Several high-profile arrests were made, shining a spotlight on the dark web's darkest actors and the crimes they committed. It was a small victory, but it served as a reminder that our work was making a difference. Yet, we remained acutely aware that the dark web's landscape was fluid and adaptive, requiring us to remain vigilant and innovative in our approach. Through my advocacy work, I connected with survivors who had fallen victim to the dark web's horrors. I joined support groups, offered guidance, and helped them navigate the aftermath of their traumatic experiences. Witnessing their strength and resilience was both humbling and inspiring. Together, we formed a tight-knit community, united by our shared experiences and a determination to reclaim our lives from the clutches of darkness. While the dark web's sinister influence loomed large, we refused to be paralyzed by fear. Instead, we channeled our collective strength into raising awareness, empowering others, and demanding stricter regulations and enforcement against cybercriminals. Our voices grew louder, reaching policymakers, tech companies, and the general public. In response to our advocacy efforts, governments around the world began to take action. Legislation was enacted to enhance cybersecurity measures, impose stricter penalties for cybercrimes, and provide support systems for victims. Internet service providers and technology companies joined the cause, implementing robust measures to detect and block illicit activities on their platforms. Though the battle against the dark web continued, our progress offered glimmers of hope. The online landscape was gradually transforming, becoming less hospitable to those who sought to exploit its anonymity for malicious purposes. While the fight would likely be never-ending, we remained resolute in our commitment to creating a safer digital world for future generations. Reflecting on my journey, I realized that my ordeal had transformed me. The once boring existence I had led had been shattered, replaced by a life fueled by purpose and resilience. The scars of that fateful night served as a constant reminder of the darkness that existed, but they also symbolized my unwavering determination to bring light to the darkest corners of the internet. As I continued my work, I recognized the need for ongoing education and awareness. I collaborated with schools, community organizations, and online platforms to develop resources that educated individuals of all ages about internet safety, responsible online behavior, and the potential risks posed by the dark web. My experiences had shown me the fragility of the digital world, how easily lives could be upended by a single click or ill-advised curiosity. Through my advocacy, I aim to instill a sense of digital empowerment, equipping individuals with the knowledge and tools to navigate the online realm safely and confidently. The journey was far from over, and the dark web's allure would forever remain a tempting trap for the unwary. But armed with resilience, knowledge, and a united front, we pressed forward, determined to combat the shadows that threatened to engulf us. The battle for a safer, more secure digital future would continue, fueled by the unwavering belief that no one should fall victim to the horrors that hide in the depths of the dark web. Story 3. I must emphasize that the following account delves into deeply disturbing and repugnant subject matter. Brace yourself as I recount my encounter with the horrors of the dark web. Please exercise caution while listening. Several years ago, I embarked on my first journey into the enigmatic realm of the dark web. Fascinated by the allure of forbidden knowledge, I had been enticed by my friend John's tales of the unimaginable things one could find there. From hitmen for hire to skilled hackers, the dark web seemingly offered access to the darkest corners of humanity's desires. John had even mentioned a site dedicated to showcasing gruesome videos of killings and sexual assaults. The mere thought sent chills down my spine, but little did I know that my own experience would soon become a haunting tale. As I delved deeper into the dark web, I stumbled upon a website teeming with illegal drugs and weapons available for purchase with Bitcoin. The array of weaponry on display was mind-boggling, ranging from small knives to even rocket launchers. While I had no intention of engaging in such activities, the sheer curiosity drove me to explore further. However, my curiosity soon turned to dread when my computer suddenly froze. Dismissing it as a mere coincidence, I restarted my device, only to receive a pop-up notification warning me to leave the site. Ignoring the warning, I continued scrolling, oblivious to the danger lurking in the shadows. Within seconds, another message appeared on my screen, and this time it was different. It displayed my address, sending shivers down my spine and leaving me frozen with fear. I swiftly powered off my computer, struggling to steady my racing heart. Vowing never to return to the dark web, I believed I had narrowly escaped a potential kidnapping and sex trafficking ordeal. However, fate had a sinister plan in store for me. About a week later, as I stepped outside to check the mail, a chilling presence made itself known. Standing at the end of my driveway was a figure peering at me from a distance. In broad daylight, the encounter sent shivers down my spine. I forced a cautious smile, offering a friendly wave before hastily retreating indoors. Glancing out of my main room window, I saw the stranger now standing where I had been moments ago, staring intently at me. Moments later, I discovered an unnerving package among my mail. Inside were numerous photographs of me engaged in everyday activities. Some were taken within the confines of my own home, captured stealthily during the night. The violation of my privacy was incomprehensible, with invasive shots capturing moments as mundane as cooking in my kitchen or sitting on the couch. The stalking had become a tangible nightmare. Panic gripped me, and I confided in my friends about the increasingly terrifying situation. While they urged me to contact the police, I hesitated, unsure of the authorities' ability to intervene effectively. Seeking solace and protection, I invited my friend Matthew to stay with me. His presence brought a modicum of comfort in an otherwise unsettling environment. We discussed the options, and despite our fears, we decided to confront the stalker ourselves. Taking matters into my own hands, I installed surveillance cameras around my house, hoping to catch the intruder red-handed. Days turned into nights as we anxiously awaited any sign of the mysterious figure haunting my life. Then, in the dead of night, a thunderous crash shattered the tranquility. Startled, Matthew and I sprung into action, our fight-or-flight instincts kicking in. Racing toward the sound, we peered out the window, but the culprit was nowhere to be seen. Realizing that the situation had escalated beyond our control, we finally made the call to the police, desperately providing every detail we could recall about the mysterious man who had unnerved me during my mailbox encounter. We hoped it would offer some leads. However, by the time the authorities arrived, the intruder had vanished into the night, leaving no trace behind. Clad in a black bodysuit or costume, his identity remained elusive. Disheartened by the lack of progress, I knew I couldn't stay in that house any longer. Fear had taken hold of my life, and the thought of enduring another night alone became unbearable. With the help of friends and loved ones, I quickly arranged to move into a new apartment, the best I could afford at the time. The harrowing experience had forever altered my perception of the dark web. It served as a stark reminder of the hidden dangers lurking in the shadows of the internet. Since that fateful encounter, I made a solemn vow to myself, never again would I venture into the depths of the dark web, seduced by its forbidden allure. Over the years, I've come across countless horrifying tales of the dark web, each one reinforcing the importance of staying far away from its treacherous underbelly. Kidnappings, gruesome killings, and unimaginable atrocities. These were the sinister realities woven into the fabric of that hidden world. The scars left by my dark web ordeal run deep. The fear of being watched, the invasion of privacy, and the lingering trauma have shaped my life in profound ways. It served as a stark reminder that the internet, while a gateway to vast knowledge and connection, can also be a breeding ground for malevolence and danger. Today, I caution others about the perils that lie beneath the surface of the digital realm. The virtual landscape is an intricate tapestry of light and darkness, and it is our responsibility to navigate it with caution and discernment. We must remain vigilant, protect our personal information, and be mindful of the connections we forge online. Remember, behind every screen, there is a human being with intentions both good and bad. The anonymity afforded by the internet can be a double-edged sword, blurring the lines between friend and foe. It is crucial to exercise discernment and skepticism, ensuring our online interactions align with our values and well-being. My experience serves as a haunting reminder that the online world is a reflection of our own, replete with both beauty and darkness. We must tread carefully, embracing the positive aspects while remaining steadfast against the perils that may lie in wait. So, dear listener, heed my warning. The dark web is a realm best left unexplored. Let my tale serve as a cautionary tale, a reminder that even the most seemingly innocent curiosity can lead to unimaginable consequences. Stay safe, remain vigilant, and protect yourself in the vast expanse of the digital universe. Years have passed since my harrowing encounter with the dark web, but the memories remain etched in my mind like a haunting melody. The incident not only shattered my sense of security but also left an indelible mark on my psyche. Sleepless nights became a regular occurrence as I grappled with the ever-present fear that someone, somewhere, was still watching. To reclaim a sense of normalcy, I sought therapy to help navigate the emotional aftermath of the dark web nightmare. The therapist provided a safe space for me to share my deepest fears and anxieties, guiding me through the process of healing. Together, we explored the complex web of emotions intertwined with the traumatic experience, gradually unraveling the knots that bound my mind. Through therapy, I began to understand the multifaceted impact of the dark web incident. It wasn't just the fear of physical harm or the violation of my privacy, it was the erosion of trust in humanity. The realization that such malevolence existed, hidden behind the cloak of anonymity, shattered my faith in the inherent goodness of people. It became a lingering shadow, casting doubt on every online interaction and leaving me perpetually on edge. As I embarked on the path of recovery, I also immersed myself in knowledge about cybersecurity and online safety. I educated myself on best practices, such as using strong passwords, enabling two-factor authentication, and staying updated on the latest threats. Empowering myself with knowledge became a shield against the vulnerabilities that pervaded the digital realm. But the scars of the dark web were not limited to my own experience. I became an advocate for digital literacy and online safety, sharing my story with others to raise awareness about the hidden dangers that lurk beneath the surface of the internet. Through public speaking engagements, social media campaigns, and workshops, I endeavored to empower individuals with the tools they needed to protect themselves in the vast digital landscape. Over time, my journey of healing transformed into one of resilience. The dark web incident, once a source of paralyzing fear, became a catalyst for personal growth. It taught me the importance of self-care and the strength that lies within vulnerability. It showed me the power of community as friends, family, and even strangers rallied around me, offering unwavering support. Today, I stand tall, a survivor of the dark web's treacherous grasp. While the scars remain, they serve as a reminder of the depths from which I emerged. I continue to tread cautiously in the digital realm, armed with knowledge, resilience, and a renewed sense of self. And through it all, I hold on to the hope that my story can inspire others to navigate the vast expanse of the internet with wisdom, caution, and an unwavering belief in the power of human resilience.